Welcome back. Now, what kind of baggage, so to speak, is a turn-off? In fact, I want to hear what you guys even think baggage is, what we mean by that. Particularly what you might avoid when you're looking for a new relationship. Joining me, Marni Kinrys, thank you, who is called the ultimate wing girl and a men's dating coach. I also have Matt Titus. And Matt, I'm going to ask you, and Matt is a dating coach as well, and what do you think about, or what do men think about a woman who has, well, I hate to call this baggage, but what about kids?
Well, you know, an instant family is very hard for a man to deal with. It actually depends on his past experiences, you know, with his children. If he's had children before and they've been, you know, delinquents and they've been awful, you know, him jumping into a new family with, you know, 2 or 3 kids that, you know, are attached to a woman he loves might be a real difficult task for him. Okay, but if he's had a great experience with, you know, a couple kids that he's raised, you know, on his own, you know, he'll love to have an instant family again. So I think it's pretty individualized, you know? So, Marni, if a male, for a man, kids are baggage, what do women look at as baggage in terms of what a guy brings? What is it history of alcoholism?
Probably.
Is it mental health? Is it taking medication? Is it having high blood pressure?
Well, for every individual, it's different, right? I'm going to view something different as baggage than my girlfriends are going to view. And I actually just had a blog written about this. It's like how to bring up sticky topics on a date, like I have kids or I was divorced, whatever the sticky topic may be. It really is for women the way that you present the topic. So instead of saying, I have to tell you something, I have kids, but I really enjoy being with you, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you before. That's not a good way. So instead what you say, you know what? Awful. Exactly, it's horrible. Instead you would say, you know what? I love my daughter. She's so amazing. I love going to the park with her. I love taking her for trips.
Slip it in.
Slip it in. And then at that point, like for me, I'd be thinking, I can't wait to carpool with her. It's going to be fantastic. So it's just presenting these situations in a better light.
Let's take some calls. Michael in Louisiana. Michael, you got something for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't like when a woman tries to stay connected with a man after she's through with him. And, you know, in a new relationship, and then she wants the next man. I don't like that.
Michael, I'm with you, my friend. I think that, you know, if it... By the way, so is there a specific example, Michael, you have in mind? Has something happened to you recently?
Yeah, well, you know, the woman that I'm trying to date now wants the man that she used to date to be a friend of hers, be a friend of ours, and I can't see it.
That drives men crazy.
Of
Friends,
course.
please.
Go ahead, Matt.
That never works. That never works. When there's a sexual history and there's been chemistry before, it really doesn't go away. And the new guy, he's the one that has the problems, trying to accept that, oh, these guys are just friends and everything's okay. No man can really accept that too well. And I don't think women do either.
Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to barge in and say what I'm saying, but the thing is, it's like, it's not that no man can ever handle having that situation. It's like you have to learn how to handle that situation and talk with the person that you're dating.
It drives men crazy, and women go, oh, you don't trust me, you don't trust me, we don't really have any.
Well,
it drives men crazy.
That's a different way of bringing up the conversation. If you are in a great relationship and you want to work on having that relationship, there are certain conversations that you should be having with your significant other about expectations. Doesn't mean that she should be going shoe shopping with this friend every Friday and then sleeping over at his house. That's not acceptable.
That's not okay. Michael, what is your
limitations?
Someone's a little bit of an idealist here. I don't know who that might be, but I would say that actually there's a way to do it. And if it's the 3 of you, if it's the wife, her old boyfriend, and the new boyfriend, and they sit down together and they do everything they need to get acquainted, that could possibly work. But any other way, her spending time with him
alone,
without the new guy.
No go. I'm with you.
I completely agree with that.
Mary in Kentucky. Mary. Hi, Mary.
I believe that too much baggage is like emotional baggage. It could be like physical baggage, trauma from childhood.
Oh, there you go.
Sexual abuse.
Oh, that's interesting.
Different things like that.
So you don't like someone that's a project.
Excuse me?
You don't like anybody that would be a project.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone's a project.
Well, it's interesting.
Say, everybody has some sort of baggage that you may or may not have to deal with, and it depends on who you are and what your history is of whether or not you can deal with what that person has to offer for their baggage and for their pros and cons.
And did somebody tell... Go ahead, Matt.
I think it's always about if the pros are outweighing the cons. I mean, are you happy with this person more than 70% of the time? Because if you are, then they're a keeper. If it's under 70, you got to throw them out.
Absolutely.
Did the control room ask me to go to teas next, or do I have another call up next? Okay, next up. All right, here we go. We're going to get some calls lined up for the next segment. We'll start the next segment talking about toys and role-playing and fantasy, and how do you bring those sorts of things in, or do you ever want to bring those things in, or what do you do if someone tries to bring those things in? Again, the number, 855-373-7395, after the break. Back with me, dating relationship expert Marni Kinrys, author of 10 Mistakes Men Make with Women and How to Avoid Them, and also dating coach and relationship expert Matt Titus. Now, to both of you, how many of your clients are looking for a new relationship because, well, maybe I'll reframe it, ask it differently. How many relationships fail because there's no sexual chemistry, because that fizzles out?
A lot.
Common.
Yeah, very common.
Matt, common?
Very, very common. That's a major component of keeping people together.
Right.
And that doesn't just mean sex. That means like being sexual, being connected,
intimate, being physically intimate, being close physically as well as emotionally.
No, it means sex. It's sex. It's sex.
For women, that is what it means. But for a lot of women, sex is very important. It's like the primary thing that's very important. For some women, it is not the primary thing. For me, emotional connection is way more important.
Sex though has a way of creating renewal and energy and passion in a relationship. We all agree with that, right, Matt?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fabric that keeps people connected, and it should happen at least 2 to 3 times a week, even when you don't feel like doing it. You have to just start.
I totally agree with you. We were just having that conversation in the green room. You have to, even if your husband says, let's have sex, and you're like, oh, I don't want to, I have to wake up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. You say, absolutely, we're going to have sex right now and enjoy it.
And once you start it, it starts to feel really good.
Yeah.
Trust me, the tactile stimulation will change the mood, and it will work.
Of course.
Right, take a call. Katrina in Louisiana. Katrina.
Yes. I've been with him for 12 years. We tried to have sex twice. It didn't work. You know, we
Twice?
It didn't work. Is it broken?
Well,
What's going on?
We didn't fit. But you know what? We've been together 12 years, and we love each other. I let him get on the Facebook and the computer and read magazines, and he leaves me alone, and we just have a good time.
Sounds like your best friend.
You guys don't know what you're missing.
That sounds interesting, as long as you don't want anything more.
But if you really listen carefully to Katrina, there's interesting things here. One is this is an enlightened woman who is not bothered by her boyfriend being in the world of porn and then spending his time there as opposed to with her.
Let him watch pictures.
Okay, it's certainly healthier in terms of transmission of diseases and things. But Katrina, how old are you?
I'm 56.
Okay, and how old is he?
58.
58. So drive goes down a little bit in our 50s. And one of the things I always like to point out, particularly for women, is that hormone replacement, if it's appropriate, and again, it's controversial whether it is, can significantly restore sexual drive and receptivity. And don't forget, if you do think of hormone replacement, testosterone is a critical piece of that, because that is testosterone that creates drive and desire in all of us, men and women. And when the ovaries shut down, the testosterone as well as the estrogen goes away.
Why have sex if you're happy?
Listen, it's working for you, my dear. I say you
Dr.
keep
Drew,
going. Matt, go ahead.
They don't know what they're missing. They had
maybe
sex
they do.
twice.
I'm sure they've had sex
it's
before.
It's a whole different type of relationship. It's an emotional connection without a physical one. So they don't know any better.
Well,
so maybe that's the secret here.
Are you saying that you've never had sex with your significant other?
Tried twice and that was it.
Twice in the past
12
2
years.
years? Or
12 years.
12 years
12
you tried
years.
and it didn't work?
Yes.
Okay, that is not what I heard. I thought it was tried it twice in the past year and it didn't work.
No.
They're best friends.
They're
best friends that allow each other to become sexually aroused through other sources. This is not a real marriage.
What Matt is saying is they're both so happy they don't know how miserable they are. Eric in Los Angeles. Eric, what's going on?
I was going to say, what is a real marriage?
Eric.
That you're saying that.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on the show. Big fan.
Eric.
And I want to say sexual chemistry is like absolutely essential. I completely agree with the point that otherwise, you're really just really good friends. And I like the key aspect is just communication. If you aren't communicating with one another, you really don't know if you've reached your full potential, if you're satisfying one another or not. And I really like that. I mean, that's just at the heart of every single relationship, physical or otherwise.
All right, fair enough. Let's get Abby in Nebraska. Let's get through some calls here, Matt. Hold on a second. I'm going to put you on hold there. Abby, go ahead. Abby in Nebraska.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
I was calling about the toys, like incorporating that into
Yes, that was supposed to be our topic, but go right ahead. I'm glad you got us there. Go right ahead.
So I'm interested in adding that into my relationship, but I'm not really sure how to go about it. Like if I should surprise him with something like that, or if I should have a discussion. I guess I don't really know how to.
Okay, it's a great question. Yeah, I'm going to have each of you answer this. I'm going to have Matt first and then Marni. Matt, go ahead.
I think you have to make sure that he feels like a man, and this supplement, not the main thing, he's the main thing, would really make you feel great. The combination of his power and his body and this little mechanical thing would take you to places that you've never been.
Okay.
And, what do you think about that?
Got it. Don't let him feel threatened. And how should she bring it in, though? Should she just sort of pull it out from under the covers? Look what I found.
Look what I've got for tonight. Here it is.
And you wouldn't go to something extreme right from the top, right? Something a little bit...
Like a sledgehammer?
No sledgehammers.
That probably wouldn't be a good idea.
You guys, I got to take a break again. Matt, Marni, thank you so much for joining us. It is now time for HLN's election coverage, Our Country Votes. Today is the day that health insurance must start paying for birth control for some women. We asked what you think, and Susan writes to us, absolutely should be covered. Viagra is covered for old men. How dare you? GabCam, the only way to force people to be responsible with new generations. And I would urge you to take a look at how that law now applies, that it's going to be phased in over the next year in such a way that there will be no copays for almost anyone with insurance or with coverage for birth control, and hopefully people will take advantage of those safeguards. Stay tuned to HLN for the latest Our Country Votes, and we will be right back.